What's happening? What's happening, good people?
Did y'all miss us?
Every time I got them go to do my introduction, bro, you cut me off. This the second week, bro. Anyway, looking for more co-hosts. You know what I mean? I meant to say that when I first spoke, but she cut me off. Nonetheless, I appreciate you guys joining in today. It's the Who You Telling podcast, the #1 growing podcast in the Concord area. Don't forget about it. Tell somebody if you know somebody. It's Who You Telling podcast, baby. And we appreciate you guys for tuning in. I'm your host, E. It's my co-host, Reed. We have 2 special guests with us in the house today. We're going to kick things off and allow them to go ahead and introduce themselves. I'll start to my left, Damien.
My name is Damien, obviously. I'm from Kannapolis, born and raised. So, I know that y'all are from Concord, but we'll let that slide.
Here we go.
Bleed black and gold.
But I bleed green and white through and through.
That's wild.
Went to school at UNC Chapel Hill, graduated, and now I coach football and also teach middle school and high school. I've taught middle school and high school since leaving from school.
Okay. Good deal. Go ahead, Reed.
And to my right, I got Vanity. What's the
adding shit on?
the line? You have a clothing line, right?
I have a clothing line, and I'm a life coach. So I guess you just spent that over to me. I have a clothing line, and I'm a life coach. I'm a certified life coach, and I'm a business analyst and a scrum master as well. So I teach people how to get into tech, mindset coaching, business coaching as well.
You gave us the introduction, but I want to know like who you are. Damien, I want to start out with you because again, I've never heard
confusing. Who you gonna start off with? But go ahead. I'm gonna have to get you back all episode, but go ahead. My bad.
Just because, like, personally, I've never met this guy, but I've just always heard wonderful things.
There's a stranger in my house.
Like a neighborhood hero. Like, so you said you grew up in Kannapolis. You bleed green and white. Unfortunately, I got to start wearing green and white. I don't want to, but I got to.
It's a different green and white, I guess.
So what schools and stuff did you attend around this area, other than, of course, Kannapolis? Like, can you kind of paint a picture of?
So,
how you got
elementary school, I went to Jackson Park Elementary.
Okay.
I was part of the first class that went to KIS because they made the intermediate school. So, 5th and 6th graders. So, I was the first class of 6th graders. Then I went to Kannapolis Middle. And after leaving from there, I went to A.L. Brown for 4 years.
Okay. What did you go to school for at UNC?
Exercise and sports science.
Okay.
But I focused on sports administration. So at the time, I thought I wanted to be an athletic director, and who knows, maybe that may be in the cards eventually one day. But right now, I'm just enjoying coaching.
Okay. Where you currently coaching at?
Northwest Cabarrus.
Oh, you near home. Okay.
Yes.
That's what's up. And how long have you been doing that?
This is my second season with Northwest Cabarrus. Before, I was at Rocky River High School in Charlotte.
Okay. I know somebody that attended Rocky River. And Vanity, what about you?
I was kind of telling myself earlier to him, just getting to know him while we were waiting, but I went to Concord High School, so I don't know about the green and white over there, you know. But yeah, I went to school with Emma, and then went to RCCC for a little bit, transferred to UNCG, and just wrapped it up there. So that's been awesome. And then I'm currently back in school as well. Okay. So yeah, that's a little bit about me and my little life.
So what and whoever would like to go first, what made you kind of want to jump into the field that you jumped into? or go to school for
Vanity,
anyway.
you got to be specific. She in a lot of fields.
Yeah.
You know what?
So,
Which one was first? Which one was first?
So I originally went to school for communications, and I like to do like this type of thing, broadcast and all that stuff as well. But what made me kind of get into tech was I worked for Fortune 500 companies, and I was already doing team leads and just basically coaching. In 2020, I decided I wanted to go to school, become a certified life coach. So that's what I did. And it kind of made me be like, okay, that's what I want to do, but I want to do that for corporations. I want to do that for other businesses or the business that I work for. So I actually kind of transferred out of a fintech company more into another company that was something totally different from what I was doing. It had to do with like fraud and banking investigations and all of that stuff. But it was cool because I'm a sponge, so I can like learn anything and just apply it to what I learned before. And then from there, I was like, you know what? That was a contract position. And so I was just like, man, what am I going to do? My contract's about to run out. And one of my homeboys hit me up and was like, you know what? You will be a great Scrum Master. And I was like, what is that?
I was about to say, what is
yeah,
that?
like, what is a Scrum Master?
Yeah.
So he sent me the link, and he was like, one of my homegirls doing it, and I feel like you will be great at it. And when I was reading it, it was basically like a coach for development teams that make things like buttons on Facebook or whatever. So I'm like, I can do that. Like, I'm already a coach. Like, I'm already life coaching. So
Right.
I just seen that you can get certified for that and got certified, and it was like a not bad or long certification, and did that, and I just kind of transitioned. Like I'm not gonna lie, God just led me to business analyst because it was like one of my first jobs working as a Scrum Master. And then from there, the manager was like, I want to teach you how to do business analytics too. And I was just like, okay. And I did that. So it was just like me just sponging and learning from different things. So
everything kind of just led one
to
after
another. Yeah.
Okay. So you just woke up and was like, I want to be a life coach? Or was you that type of friend that would always... What exactly is a life coach?
Yeah, so a life coach is just a person that helps you accomplish goals, helps you get out your own way. So, like, they're different from a therapist. You know, therapist, you're going there for, like, trauma and just talking out past issues. But a life coach focuses more on current issues and current goals that you want to set with yourself that you might need a little bit of mindset coaching to, like, help you get over it or kind of, like, put that to the side and focus on yourself so you can achieve your goals. So I've always been like the strong friend. I've always been a positive person. I'm not perfect, so I am a Leo. You know, we pop big.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
we
all
pop
that.
big chunk. You know,
Leo season.
okay.
Give us the horns
You
for that.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't
He
skip
be-
on the horns.
He be hating.
Oh,
She a hater.
the hate be real loud.
It be real.
It be real loud.
My bad.
It
Thank you.
be real.
I'm gonna stop here.
But no, like I've always been like the strong friend and just tried to give encouragement. I'm a torch lighter, so like anyone I'm around, you feeling down, you need a encouragement, you need to pull up, you need me to pull up, like you want to fold clothes, you want to cry about it. Like that's who I've always been. So it was just like, you know what? I have so many people that come to me for a word or a message. I need to go ahead and just show this to the world and like offer my services. And also with starting my business Adore Denim in 2018, I realized I know a lot about the business industry that I learned on my own. So it's like I might as well teach people how to do that. So that's kind of how I shifted into life coaching.
Okay. So D, what about you? And I'll repeat, basically, did you just kind of grow up and wake up and say, I want to go to school for what is it, exercise?
Exercise and sports science.
Yes, and sports science.
No, that's not what happened. It's so I obviously grew up playing sports, football and basketball mainly, but then I also started running track as I got older. So I was always heavily into sports. So I was always playing something or doing something, whether it be, like I said, any one of those sports. And so I went to school with the mindset that, I want to play sports, but I obviously know I have to take care of my, schoolwork because school was always something my mom was like always on and talking about. Make sure that we had, our grades together. If I wasn't on the road, I was gonna be in trouble, and I didn't want to hear my mama's mouth. So I made sure that I did that, and then at some point it just became, my norm or my standard. So I just lived up to the standard of having good grades. But I've always maybe not. She was talking about being a sponge earlier. I feel like I've been like a sponge in terms of like I just retain a lot of information. I'm good at memorization. I don't know why, but I memorize things and I can repeat them to you. And then, like I said, I played sports, so I spent not a lot of time, but I spent time in the training room when I was in college. And so when we first go to college, you don't necessarily go into your major, obviously. So spending time with them, I kind of sort of got intrigued by some of the stuff that they do. I didn't want to go be an athletic trainer per se, but just knowing about the body, how the body works, things that you need to do in terms of diet, things of that nature, or anything that has to do with like I said, memorizing, knowing the body, how to take care of it, things of that nature. So I got really interested in that, and then that basically led me to being into exercise and sports science. And then, like I said, I thought I wanted to be an athletic director at the time, not knowing all the responsibilities that come with being an athletic director, because you're in charge of everything. And that's not necessarily like an issue, but in my mind, I'm only 21, 22, thinking, oh, this is going to be a breeze. And I actually got to see what it's actually like. And that's like, all right, I need to take my time, slow it down, I need to learn the ins and outs of, what that looks like. So maybe not right now, but, one day I can work towards being an athletic director. But like I said, being in sports over the years has, intrigued me the most about, learning about the body, how the body works, biomechanics, all that stuff. So that's why I chose exercise and sports science. Now, as far as teaching, I like coaching. And so teaching gave me an in into coaching. And it's honestly same things that I sort of do on the football field, I technically do in the classroom, because you're encouraging students and keeping them on a certain progression. They're progressing to get to this point, and you obviously want them to succeed. So that's some of the things overlay, and I think some of the best teachers are coaches. So coaches get a bad rep or whatever because they say the coaches don't really do a whole bunch, but if you think about all the kids that they touch and come in contact with, even without the sport, just teaching, those kids come back and remember who those coaches are, who those people were, just because of the relationships that they build and the stuff that they taught them when they were, in their class. Like I still remember my middle school teachers.
And the impact that they had on you.
I go back to elementary school. Yes, I remember those people. I remember my elementary school teacher, PE teacher. One, because of the relationship that we had, and he also was a coach at the high school, but the stuff that we did in his class, I still remember that. And so I think that relationship and seeing what he did and things of that nature also played a part into how I ended up being a PE teacher as well.
That's dope. Vanity, what impacted you in life or made you decide to go down the career path, maybe even your what you chose to do as your degree, your field? What impacted your life to make you go that route?
I just always been into originally I wanted to be a publicist, into music and just be in the background. Mm-hmm. So that's what kind of made me get into communications. But then from that, just working at, like I said, Fortune 500 companies, different call centers, and just realizing oh, okay, this is how this works. I'm always had the mindset of walking your trap and take over your trap type of mindset. Okay. Yeah. So that's just kind of how I've always just planned everything. I wouldn't say it was like one thing that made me be like, ooh, let me do that.
Right.
But I do know like I've always been a supportive and great friend and like just a great person in general. I try my best to be. And also like mindset. Like I've done a lot of um, mindset work on myself and helped a lot of other people get out of their own way to be happy.
Right.
And I feel like if anything, if I had to say anything impacted it, it would have been my mindset, the change of my mindset.
For sure. It sounds like you're a lot of people's go-to.
Yeah.
In your corner. What is your go-to? What do you go to when you're in these everyday life situations that we all face and deal with that become overwhelming at some points?
Yeah. Well, I have my tribe, of people around me that's like really close. And, sometimes you have to, recycle your tribe or vet your tribe every once in a while. But I have my tribe that I go to, and I have things that I do spiritually that keeps me nurtured and keeps me grounded. Spiritual baths, journaling, going for walks, drinking water, staying connected to the water because I am a fire sign. Gets a little hot. Okay. So, staying close to the water, just doing those things is kind of what helps me when I feel like I need my parents, family. That's what like has my back when I feel like I need it.
I got you.
And God, of course.
Of course. Can't forget that.
Right.
So, Damien, in terms of, you're that teacher in the classroom. A lot of people look up to you. What has been a teacher in life for you? Who do you look up to and go to in times of needing to look up to someone?
I got a couple people. It sort of go along the lines what she was saying, the tribe or your village, people that you've accumulated over time, or the people who you go to. I'll say he's my uncle, but he's also my bishop at the church that I go to, Freedom Holiness Church. I've always looked up to him, wanted to be like him in the terms of the man that he is. He provides for his family, and he's obviously godly because he's has to be a minister to people. But he's always been a good person as far as I can ever tell you in all of my 30 years of life. He's been there for me and been an example of what a man is supposed to be. So I talk to him, if I have an issue going on or I need to get some advice, he's always there for me. So my mentor in terms of teaching, coaching, things of that nature, Orlando Gray, has been very instrumental into my coaching and my growth as a coach because he brought me into coaching. I wasn't coaching when I first initially came out of college. At a public school, I coached at a private school for a season, and then I moved to Durham. And so he called me in March, said to come back. And he had a position open for me to come coach, and that's all I needed to hear. He was sold on me, and we had a relationship from from high school. He was one of my high school coaches, but like I said, he's been instrumental in my growth, been pushing me to become a better coach, putting the time in, the effort, building up my voice, because I was a young coach. I didn't know everything that he knows, obviously, because he's been coaching had been coached for 20 plus years. So, finding my coach voice, being an authoritative figure, because, like I said, I was young. I'm not far from some of these kids' ages, so having authority over them. Yeah, I'm your coach, but they kind of sort of saw me also as like a big brother or a friend. So it wasn't the same level of respect, I guess you would say, that you would get, as the authoritative figure, as the head coach, because there's levels to it, obviously. But like I said, he's built me up and got to the point where I can now put myself in position to actually be a head coach someday, soon, hopefully. But like I said, he's built me up, put the time in. We go over X's and O's, or it's little side conversations. This is what you need to be doing. This is how you should go about it. So those two for sure. My mom, she's one of my best friends. Obviously, my wife is my best friend, but my mom has always been there for me, obviously, because she's my mom, but she's always had my back. We talk basically every day, and if we don't, it's like, hey, how you doing? Type of thing. Like, I ain't talked to you today or a couple of days. Yeah. Like, what's up? So we have that type of relationship, and, I confide in her, tell her things that we need to discuss or whatever, but she's always been there, had my back, encouraged me, pushing me to do things, the right way, and obviously staying close to God as well, because, that's first and foremost. Got to honor him first. But those are probably the 3 pillars for sure in my tribe.
Okay, good deal. Sheree?
So I've been dying, and he better be on this live. So both of y'all have the college experience. I never went to school. Can you paint a picture? I'm so nervous. My nephew about to go off to school. Like, what was that step? It's almost like you just stepping into adulthood. You going off on your own. What was that step like? Did you struggle? Was it easy? Was it nice? You wanted to quit it all and come home? I need to know something so I know how to coach him, route him.
Please tell me, because I need to know too. I went to RCCC.
Well, I went to RCCC too, and then I went off to school. I would say that it really just depends on, like, the people that he has around him, his tribe, and his.
You talking about his, like, friends at school, or like his support system?
Both.
Okay.
Both, because they both are into. They both are going to, like, grab on him and be like, oh yeah, stay in school, make sure you go into class, and then he's gonna have his friends. It's
they
like,
gonna be grabbing on him.
Yeah, you really.
He better be grabbing on them books.
Exactly. And they go exactly.
He might.
So it's
depending on who he with. Might be books or booty.
You
might
feel
be
me?
either one. Yeah, but I'm just saying.
So all I would say is, he just has to know that he's going to be able to do what he wants to do. So he's going to have to hold himself accountable.
Was it a struggle for you? Like, were you able to just hold yourself accountable?
Yeah, but I'm a lady. We mature. Like, I feel like I've been able to hold myself accountable, but it's been times like I can look over like in my 20s and I'd be like, girl, why did you do that? Like, why did you stay up all night, just doing too much, and then you trying to go to class, you're not making it to class, for real. Now you happen to catch up. The key is not playing catch up.
The kid, you hit Jeremiah, boy, if you ain't watching this live.
Yes, that's in life. Like, just stay ready so you don't got to get ready. Like, the catch-up game is what puts you further behind, because now you happen to catch up on different projects, school assignments. Then your friends, you feel like you got to catch up with them. Then you just behind in all your life. Like, everything ain't going right. You ready to go home to mama.
So we heard from a mature female.
Exactly.
Now, the male's perspective.
I ain't even gonna say what he was thinking about. He a married man now, but I seen his eyes just like it was like a rolling little theme going on.
He said,
right
"I'm
now.
here,
You trying, man?
All
right, go ahead.
Yeah, I did not have that same experience per se, but you did have like a segue into your college. So you were older and more mature already at that point.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I didn't necessarily have a choice but to adapt.
Right.
Because I played college football, so like everything's on a schedule. Like you don't have a choice but to do certain things at certain times. Otherwise, like you said, you're going to get behind, and I'm a procrastinator. I'll admit it. I do procrastinate. So I'll be up late studying or trying to do this paper or do whatever the day before it's due or the next day. And I probably should have and could have done it earlier. But like I said, school was on a schedule. Like you get up, you got to go to class. You had to be done with class by a certain time. Then you got football, meetings, practice. You eat, or shower and eat. You go to study hall, and then you have free time, which at that point is 10, 11 o'clock at night.
You ready to lay down.
You got to start all over again. So, like I said, you never had a choice but to adapt. Now, do you get homesick? Yes. I mean, I was only out on 45, 2 hours away from home, and yes, I miss my parents or whatever, but I wasn't able to come home every weekend like I wanted to because, I mean, football was my life at that point. Once I signed my name on the dotted line, I became theirs, pretty much. So the summer, I was trying to come back home more, but during the season, there is no coming home. So I had to see my parents when they do come up for the games or whatever. But otherwise, I didn't see them. So I had to get used to that. And then, I mean, I was already waking myself up and stuff for school and, handling my business in terms of that stuff. So I didn't necessarily need my mom to be there to be like, you need to get up or you got class at this time. And having 3 other roommates also. So we all had our own rooms, but it was like a suite style.
Oh, you was luxury in school.
Well, that's the pluses of playing sports in college. So I had 3 other roommates that played on the team with me, and we all actually played the same position initially. So my same roommates I had for pretty much all 4 years of being there. So we held each other accountable. Hey, I'm getting up to go to to the stadium. Are you going? Or we got class in 45 minutes. You need to get up so we can go catch the bus type thing. So we always, looked out for each other. And, they helped me get through also because we all were going through it together. I wasn't alone. So that was the best part. I had other people that were going through the same things that I was. Shoot, technically, I had roommates that were nowhere near. Well, one roommate was from Jacksonville, Florida. Or McClenny, Florida, sorry. So that's not close. You're talking about 7, 8 hours away from home, and he really not able to go home to go see his people. So that was, having those people around me helped keep me grounded. And obviously, I didn't want to go home and be a failure or what you would consider a failure because I didn't finish school.
But what I can say before that, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
What I can say is that I have coached some kids that were like going off to school before. So that's like maybe a little bit closer in age to, you say your nephew or?
Yeah, my nephew.
So
he's soon to be 19, but he gonna be a freshman.
Yeah, and it's just a different experience all around from what we're saying because they have social media. Things are just like right now and all of that. But really just, like I said, just making sure that you're not getting behind. Like that's one of the things that we coached on, like not being a procrastinator, making sure you staying ahead of things. Like coaching some of my clients on that has like really helped them. And then also dealing with like learning themselves. At that time, you don't have your parents there to kind of tell you what you should be and what you shouldn't be. You don't really know yourself like that. A lot of the people that you know in high school, you probably never talk to like that again. You think that that's your best friend. You get to college, you never hear from them again. It'd be like a whole different experience. But a lot of the kids would say, or young adults would say, what's helped them the most out of my coaching is them knowing that they have someone like a life coach or someone, a auntie, that can help them and just be like, I experienced this, or can talk out like the issues when they dealing with their boyfriend, they little boo,
real life,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's
he
really
definitely gonna have him a boo.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, he's in a you know how we say it, a little relationship
now. Okay.
That ain't gonna be it. He gonna find somebody new when he get up there.
You feel me?
I'm like a second mom. There's nothing that we haven't talked about, from sex to suicide, drugs, realistic stuff. And especially, being a black male in today's time. And even with his stature, my nephew is like 6'7", over 200 pounds. And we've even had talks about if he was in a car getting pulled over by the police, walking with friends, you know, and I tell him, I don't care what the scenario, you stop, you freeze, because they're already going to think, well, this is when he was younger, but think that he was older than what he was because of his size. And that could intimidate somebody. So we have realistic talks all the time. And I hope to continue that journey through college. I mean, he ain't got to tell me everything, but I try to keep it real with him, realistic.
Right. Yep. You know, that's important.
What, E?
He gonna color it in for you.
Yeah.
These kids different. They don't mind telling you the truth. When you say tell them the truth, tell them they gonna tell the truth. You know what I mean?
Well,
these kids is different.
The truth.
Yeah, they different. Us, or I know when I was little, even when she, you know, my mom.
Oh, his girlfriend watching.
Sorry about that, Donna. He gonna be a committed man. I meant to tell you, he's a really good guy. He has his own relationship with God. I'm sure everything is gonna be all right. You know.
No, he love him.
He love him.
He really
Donna.
do.
Donna, he loves you. He loves you, Donna. All right, so yeah, that's a beautiful thing, man. I believe that he's gonna get up there and thrive. He's gonna stay focused.
You done messed up.
Is she going with him?
Donna, girl, just keep the car in the middle of the road.
So she's in the military.
Oh, he definitely don't. She definitely don't have anything to
She's
worry
in the
about.
Military?
He's in the army of the Lord.
And going to school.
I already know it's gonna be just fine. It's gonna be just fine. He's a stand-up soldier.
I wish y'all the best.
You see what I deal with?
He's a survivor.
I wish y'all the best, and things are gonna work out according to your will.
Praying for you.
I didn't see you. You gotta go all of that.
All right, Donna.
I'm a realist.
But what as a realist, what do you think? Not Donna and Jeremiah's book, but let's say you had a Donna and a Jeremiah. You know what I mean? What advice would you give to young teens that's going into that college life, especially being in
separate ways?
In separate ways. How would that? What advice would you give? Because it'd be a lot.
Yeah.
On them campuses.
To each his own. It depends on what you like and what stage of your relationship you're in. You can be in a relationship or not. I'm not going to say you don't need to be in one because that's your prerogative. You do what you want to do, but it's a lot to maintain or manage, especially when you're not in the same space or you're used to seeing each other every day.
Yeah.
Or at least weekly, to not seeing them at all, especially if they're not close to you or don't have the means to see you, or one's in the state and they're all the way on the other side of the country or something. That's going to be tough. Long distance can work, but that's, like I said, up to whatever relationship you're in and what you feel. And again, what stage you are in a relationship. Y'all just started talking or y'all just got together, that's different. But if you've been together for, I don't know, multiple years, they're all right. You can try it, but I don't know what happens with that. Because I do know, because it didn't work out for me, but I did try it. And it didn't happen. It didn't work.
And to each his own. Like he said, our guest last week, or one of our guests last week, had a relationship from the time he was in high school. With his girlfriend, and they drove all the way through.
That's the thing, though. They went to school together, so they ain't separate.
So you guys keep staying in the fight.
I will say this: they've dated for like almost 3 years now. Okay. So she is a year older than him. When she originally went off to the military, they cut their ties, and I guess because they probably had to talk about the differences. But when she came back, they jumped back on the rodeo.
Well,
that's why
that's
I
good for them,
said
though.
it's working out, and it's all about experiences.
I'm not telling you don't do it. That's why I didn't say that. I'm just saying it depends on each person's relationship. Every relationship is different. Nobody's going to be just like mine or yours or who anybody else's. You just have to, play it by how you feel and where you are in your relationship.
So
y'all secured and keep it moving.
You went to Carolina. Like, what was those distractions like? Period. Because I'm sure you were looked at like a celebrity. Like Carolina.
I mean, they're everywhere, but I mean, that's up to you how you handle those situations. There's a time and place for everything. You have to just manage your time well. I mean, if you can handle talking to people or entertaining multiple people or whatever, but at the same time, you also have to worry about, all right, I got to be at the stadium by 1:55, so I'll make sure I'm not late for this meeting. Or I got to go to class. I can't keep sitting here talking or whatever. So you have to manage your time. And, I mean, there's a lot of stuff. You got parties and stuff on the weekends or after the game and things of that nature. So
were you able to manage it, though? Did you?
I think so. I mean, I didn't necessarily have a choice. Again, well, that's not true. I had a choice, but I wanted to make sure I stayed on the team and continued to keep traveling each week. So we had what we call a travel team. So on Thursday night, we had curfew. So we had to be in no later than 12 o'clock. So you technically could go out on Thursday, but you had to be in by 12. Fridays, we were with the team all the way up until to the hotel, and they had room checks and everything, so you weren't doing anything on Friday.
Was y'all putting the tape on the door? I mean, was the coaches putting the tape on the door?
I don't know, because I never tried to get out.
Okay.
But,
very disciplined young man.
See,
Right.
this is the guy
smoke.
you follow.
I didn't want no smoke.
You was playing it safe.
Yeah, so I'm
He would have snuck out.
I ain't gonna lie to you. It wouldn't have probably worked for me because as a lesbian, we have relationships.
Speak
we
for
meet
yourself.
the day, man. You the same way, bro.
I am not a U-hauler.
Meet the day.
Is that what y'all call
lying,
it?
bro. You lying.
Is
Meet
that
the
what y'all
day.
call it?
Married by the weekend. That's all I know. Divorced by the
fast.
following week, and we remarried the following weekend.
That's what I heard. I heard lesbians be moving fast.
Oh yeah, we move pretty fast because there's a mission. There's a place we got to get to.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To the highest mountain. But
That's
anyway,
crazy.
at the end of the day, Cherie, I want to ask you a question.
Uh-oh.
Because you haven't, you took him on a college tour and stuff like that.
Right.
What advice have you already given him?
Some of it's for camera, some of it's not.
Stay away
Okay.
from the camera.
Nah,
you have to-
whatever
you
he
got down.
does, with his relationship, that's his personal decision, whether they stay together or not. But I did have a sex talk with him. Like, look, don't go up here acting crazy. I get it. You know what I'm saying? You an adult. It's your life. Just make sure whatever decisions you make, you protect yourself.
Have you bought him that bag of condoms yet?
No, I ain't done that.
Oh man, that's the time.
Yeah, I know, but
Shouldn't he have him? What you think? Shouldn't he have him?
He definitely should have him.
You
I'm
need a
saying.
big old,
but he ain't gone yet.
bag over here.
She got
But-
time. He
But
gonna leave for
I
another
told
2
him
weeks,
you
but-
here, you at school to get your education. But realistically,
Yeah.
I know what distractions look like. So I had to kind of play devil's advocate. Speak on the distractions. I understand you're going to probably dibble and dabble. Just make sure you protect yourself. And at the end of the day, remember your education is most important. And especially like with these student loans, you got to pay this stuff back. Don't waste your time and your money. So if that's what you choose to do, then do it.
Yeah, and make sure you talk to him about like drugs.
Hold on.
We didn't
What do you
talk about
consider
that,
drugs.
Just
Like what?
extra activities that you do. Just make sure you talk to him about that.
Does that
'Cause,
include weed?
yeah,
Shit.
he's going to college. Like
That's true.
And
Don't-
like
They offer.
he's going to college and it's gonna be a lot of that. But I think you do what you do.
Yeah.
Do What You Do But Watch My Shoes. Y'all remember that song?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
You feel me?
Yeah.
Do what you do, but if you can't support or take care of yourself, if it's taking over your life, then you don't need to do that. If you're doing that and it's not making you happy, you getting space mind, you can't remember to go to school, it's just ruling over your life, then you have to reconsider that.
Yeah, and then
that go for food too.
Yeah, because 600-pound life is real.
It definitely is.
Real. I ain't saying for us, I'm just saying, that's good feedback because you don't want it to take over your mind. I'm telling you, it took over mine.
And he's an athlete too. That would just probably mess with.
They actually don't even. I understand. Me and my brother was talking. They don't even test him for marijuana.
Yeah, they the ones
I ain't talking about. I ain't talking about testing him for it. I'm talking about his lack of ability. It would hinder his endurance and stuff.
You seen what happened to Sha'Carri? You know what I mean?
Right. You said she
still was smoking. You can see the weed coming through her shoes.
But that's her body. Everybody's built different.
That's true, and it does. And depends on strands and all of that. It does affect you differently. Yo, you is funny.
Listen, all I'm saying is for me, I think that weed actually changed my life because I hated school. Listen, I'm telling y'all the truth. Y'all know I'm going to keep it real. If you watch the show, I'm going to keep it real and I'm real, transparent. But I'm being honest. When I was in school, I hated school. You know what I mean? I could not focus. When I started smoking weed and I went through, got my insurance license for health, Medicare, and life, I passed all of them on the first time.
Don't play with her.
The first time.
First time.
Right, so I was smoking, you know what I mean? And I was chilling.
It affects everybody differently, though.
Well, you just gonna be a little slow. I feel like if you smoke a little bit of weed, you might not feel like going no more.
But not just weed, though. I do see a comment here that said something about pills. That is true. They be lacing all of that with stuff. And that's true. Like when I was in school, I remember going to a party. Quick story time.
Okay.
I remember going to a party, walking to a party. I went to a school that had a little bit more Caucasians there, and
they party different.
They party a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I remember going to a party. I don't even know how I got to the party, but going to a party, and they were like, "Hey." Everybody had pills and they was putting them in a bowl and they was just passing the bowl around. And everybody you don't even know what pill is in there that you was taking, but they was passing the bowl around. I didn't take that because I don't even like taking just regular medication, so I'm good on that. But yeah, they be lacing that stuff. You don't be knowing what is real, what is not. So drugs is how that talk to him about that.
Now he had also take a what was the name of it? Basically a sex
education?
Not education, it's a name for it and I can't think of it. But are there scenarios in school where rape and stuff was common? Or have you I don't want to dive too deep, but were you ever in a situation you met a cool dude or whatever, you went on a date and then you just didn't trust him, or? Yeah,
well, I could say that, and this is more recent than not. We're not even talking then. I've gotten drugged at a club before.
Really?
Yeah. Not more recent than not. I've gotten drugged at a club before. That's all you got. When you go out, you got to watch your liquors and watch everything. And I did. But again, you moving fast. There's a lot going on. But yeah, that was scary.
It had to be
different for him though, because that usually don't happen to males.
But then it's the vice versa. They be blaming him, he raped me and he really didn't do that.
That's the thing.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
that just
my baby going off to school.
That's crazy because, with women, a lot of times guys be buying drinks and things of that nature, so I can see how it happens. But that's wild. That's crazy. I mean, it's our day and time, I guess, that we in. You just got to watch for people. People are crazy. That's crazy. Man.
How did you handle that situation? Like,
well, I handled it. I feel like I handled it really good. I had to get a little gangster, you know what I'm saying? After I got undrugged. But other than that, I feel like I handled it good. I had time to kind of think about it afterwards in the part that I played, because that's the important part. You always got to take accountability for the part that you play. That's very wise. So I had to sit back afterwards and just be like, okay, Van, what could have you done differently? Like, you know, I had went out by myself one night, you know what I'm saying? It was like one of those type of deals. And it wasn't a bad decision to go out by myself, because I just posted about solo dates. It's actually when I invited other people where I was is when it took place. So I'm like, if I would have stayed by myself, I would have been a little lady. I would have been fine. But, you know, I didn't really realize I was as messed up until like the next day. And then I was just like, yo, this is not regular, like, you know, drink some Henny and a little tequila. I don't even do Henny no more. Back in the day.
Because anything can happen.
That's my drink.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I've had a good time, but I knew it was different. And I just remember like asking the people that was around me, like, yo, what was up? And going to the doctor, just making sure I was good, like making sure, because you don't know.
Yeah, you got
to. Like, you really don't know. Yeah. And like I said, I had to make myself accountable for the things the part that I played. Like, I could have been a little bit more safer, a little bit, you know, I know better, you know what I'm saying? So, but again, you don't know until it happens to you. I literally was just having a drink. I don't know if the liquor's bad or what. And I've been hearing that, like, you go to some like clubs and the liquor just, it don't be
Patron definitely don't.
It don't be what it normally is. Like,
I be thinking they be refilling those bottles with cheap liquor.
Yeah, with the house liquor.
Yeah, keep them stickers on there and stuff.
Yeah,
I can see that.
I ain't no drinker though. I'm not a drinker, so I do drink. I like Henny, but I don't drink often.
Right.
Like, and I go a lot of places by myself. I just feel bad that y'all have a hard time going places by yourself without.
I have a good time going places by myself. That was one time, and life moves on.
And look at her, positivity.
Keep going.
Damien, have you ever played with anybody who was accused of rape or?
The nigga name came to mind.
Or even. Or
don't
even
say the name. Don't say
a female ever lied on one of your teammates?
Or you?
Because like she said,
I didn't have that issue. Thank you, Lord. But I did play with somebody that dealt with that. He was a couple years younger than me, but it cost him basically a year of eligibility because he was dealing with the whole case and fighting and whatnot. And I don't know all the ins and outs of everything, but they both have been drinking. They went out together. They came back home. Did the deed or whatever, and then I guess she was blacked out, or they both were too inebriated to air quote consent legally. But whatever. I don't know. Like I said, all the ins and outs, but she consented at the time, and then afterwards, it's like, all right, now I didn't want to do that type of thing, and reported it. But like I said, it was a unfortunate case. He ended up getting to play later after they did all the investigation and whatnot, but he ended up being found not guilty because, like I said, it wasn't like he was viciously or had ill intent or that was what he planned to do in the first place. It was just an unfortunate circumstance. Like I said, I'm not, like we already mentioned, we aren't going to say any names, but it was pretty tough, even for me to witness, because obviously I know who he is and as a person, and he's never been on no predatory type of stuff. So that was quite a shock to me because he was really cool, nice dude. You would think that would not be, the case. And if you know him and other people know him, he's really, outgoing, and that's not his type of personality to going after somebody, trying to take advantage of somebody.
You find that happens like more often than not, that it's a situation where it was legit, from what you've seen in your past or experiences that you have heard of?
Is that something that regularly happens?
Not on the regular, but I'm just saying, of those type of situations, do you find that a lot of guys are, I guess, misaccused of, doing things the wrong way? Is that something that you guys hear about, amongst the brothers?
I mean, it's definitely an issue or things that, that happens, and we have to address it. But you just got to be sure that you're sure, and make sure you continue to get consent through the whole entire process, I guess. But because sometimes
Right.
they can consent to certain things. Once they say no, no means no. So you have to, I wouldn't say get training on that per se, because you know what no means, but that is issue. People do get falsely accused all the time.
Right.
But then there's also cases that
It's
people
legit.
actually
Right.
do it. So it's
Absolutely.
really hard, and it's almost to the point that I just feel like we should just be putting the what's it called? Make everybody do a lie detector test.
No, for
Because,
real. And it ain't fair that y'all held to a higher standard, because I've heard some stories where females done set some stuff up, but
They do it. It's not they try to trap people or mess people up. Like I've heard stories. I haven't heard it actually happen to anybody that I know specifically, but like you this girl, or you didn't want to go home with her or whatever, and now I'm gonna say he raped me or whatever, and that's like, why would you go and try to jeopardize somebody's livelihood or everything that they have going on just because you mad because they didn't want you?
Right. Let me ask you one question. As a man, and then I got a couple of questions for you, man. So, as a man, for any young guys that might be watching out there or might watch later on down the road, how do you, I guess, consent to have, how do you know that somebody is for sure? Because guys do have just, guys and women have one night hookups or whatever the case may be. How does a guy know for sure? Are we just reading the room, trusting, hoping, praying? How do we?
Right.
There is a certain amount of like trust that you kind of sort of have to have, but I mean, people text and talk, and like you come over for at certain times and for certain things, and so you kind of sort of have those things prearranged already. Or now if you go out to the club or something, y'all exchange numbers and you say you coming over and bada bang, bada boom or whatever, but you gotta go with the flow essentially.
Do you guys try to make sure you get it in writing, like via text? I'm gonna call you back. Text me.
You know what I'm saying? Put
Like,
that in there.
how does that work?
There. Let me know.
I mean, I don't or didn't do that, but
Yeah.
like I said, you just have to. You
I
gotta
would
be
probably
careful.
recommend
Somebody
it.
already said it. You gotta be careful out here. But I mean, I don't have my goal was not to get a paper trail of this conversation. It's like, if it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. But it was never. I don't know. I guess in hindsight, I should have been trying to protect myself, but that wasn't necessarily a thought process for me, because usually, or when it happened, we were already, in agreement. We, consented. We know what was happening, or whatever.
Vanity, from a woman's perspective, okay?
I'm scared
Because
of this
I know
question.
how women are. Hold on.
and women will lead you on.
Okay.
Listen, I know how women are. Women usually have at least one or two people that either have their location, or one or two people that know where they going. If they going to a guy's house, they know the address they going to. Okay?
Okay.
So there is some sort of paper trail there that they make sure you have. Like, would you agree with that? Like, is there usually, especially when you're meeting up with somebody for the first time type of situation, is there some sort of paper trail that you try to make sure is there. Like,
in case you don't make it home.
I connected with Bobby the builder at whatever.
Like, so definitely, like, my people have like a little location, a little drop. They might know, you know, who this is, or like, I might send them a little picture, you know what I'm saying? Like, boom, what you think, you know? But that's really, they gonna really be like, oh, now he look like this. And she was going here at this time.
Right.
And I tracked her all the way there. Like,
oh, you like that TikTok with the little boy
you know,
eating.
like, you know, tracked all the way there. I think that's important, though, because you just got to cover your own self. Like, you know, now, of course, you know, mind your business. You know,
right.
You give them just enough in case something happens.
You gotta know, but other than that, like, yeah, that's like the paper trail I have as far as like when I'm meeting someone new.
Don't nobody have your location. I can tell by how the face you made, like, negative.
I had to think about it because I'm like, my friends do have my locations. I have a couple of friends that do have my location, but you know how in relationships they be like like when you meet somebody, you start talking to somebody, they be like, yeah, let me get your location. Hey, like, that's weird to me.
I ain't never had that happen.
That's like a thing nowadays. Like,
let
in
me
this
get
younger,
your location?
Yeah, like, drop the location. People be like, nah, I feel like that's weird in a relationship.
Wow, that's why iPhone people won't date Android people, because we ain't with that.
Yeah,
ain't no dropping no location. You want to see us on a Google map?
Yeah, I'm not with that.
Like, that's wild.
Yeah, that's weird.
I never had that experience.
You never had that experience?
I want to know from you, though.
From me?
Yeah.
Prior to getting into, especially because you like straight to, you know, convert, you know, type of situation.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
I know.
Why should you do that?
So I'm trying to figure out, because when you in those situations, you gotta consent. You know,
okay, yeah, because we don't know. Tell us.
We want to know, like.
Emma knows. She talking about we one of them. Look.
Before I drop that information, I would love to thank all of the new viewers that we have on tonight.
Thank you so much.
Please
really
take a moment to
guys.
share this post. Tag a friend and tell a friend to tag a friend. Definitely appreciate all the love.
Sure.
At the top of the comments, I believe E has the phone number. If you have a question, you want to say something. Not tonight. Well, he is going to drop the phone number.
Sure y'all call.
And you're welcome to call in. You can ask any of us a question. If you have an opposing opinion about anything we're saying, you are welcome to call in. But
yeah, as a lesbian, I want to know, like, how you consent.
And do you have to double down on the consent?
Yeah.
So it was always for me. So when women, you can't really protect yourself. And I was never really, me and E done had this debate so many times.
Okay.
I was never really that type, like, to just dive in. And so if we doing it,
what you mean dive in?
Like
just take some time, weeks, get to know each other.
Yeah, figure you out. So I feel like we've both kind of made that consent by the time we get there.
Right.
It might be one or two, but it wasn't. I'm very cautious on that.
Let's ask Emma.
So, I mean,
because she always want to call me out.
Yeah, she always want to go. Let me know.
I've had my situations where, you know, it wasn't a lot of time.
And you had to put down.
But, I mean, it's only certain things we're going to do, you know what I mean, in those situations. But you still got to consent. There's something involved. We got a tool here. So you got to consent.
Not a tool.
You got to consent to the tool.
Resources.
Okay?
She got hammers and screws.
You know what I'm saying?
I know you're not talking. But you do have to, in some way, consent, and give me that. But like you said, most people are very vocal, you know what I mean, about it. They going to come out and tell you, like, I want that.
And women, I will say this about women too.
They aggressive.
No, it's like a playing hard to get. Like you sleep, but you helping me pull your pants down. Yeah. You ain't sleep, like you just kind of sense.
And how did you deny? It takes so much, especially if you're not already ready. If you got your backpack on your back, You gotta
spend a night bag.
Come on, man.
Backpack,
You knew what I was doing. You knew exactly what I was doing in the bathroom for 15 and a half minutes.
You know what I'm saying?
We had to sanitize, strap, connect, adapt.
It's a little different. It's a little different for us.
That had went real far.
Yeah, I mean,
she said adapt.
You gotta adapt, strap, pull your strap. You know what I mean? Everything. So you got a lot of phases where you could have said, all right, that's it.
Saying the backpack was the first, because I ain't spending the night. So,
right.
you know, but.
Yeah, that's funny. So it's a lot of stages out here to relationships and situationships. But the rule is make sure you consent. If you don't do nothing else, just make sure you consent. Yeah. Whether it's girl, boy, consent.
Yeah, all of that.
Consent. There you go. No matter what it is.